All right, guys, welcome back. Fabian Brown. So excited to jump into this topic from today's training. Day four, part two. We're going to be talking about the Epiphany, your Epiphany bridge story. As you know, man, storytelling is it's the most direct way to connect with your audience. So they're resonating not just with your story, but your personal experiences. Think about any movie that you've watched or any book that you've read. They've captured your attention based on their skills of telling and sharing a story. So what if you can have a framework that enables you to share your story in a certain sequence, in a certain way, that's going to bring someone's emotion through your journey, all the way to the end result of what it is that you want them to do. And ultimately that's taking the next step, a step closer to getting to know you, a step closer to even purchasing something that you're offering or that you're selling or that you're doing, joining your team, whatever it has, right? But stories have an effective way of doing that. So let me just share, and shout out to the goat, RB Russell Brunson. This is directly from his teachings, directly from his thing, and it's not his concept. He does actually popularize the whole entire thing. So really excited to go over the Epiphany Bridge script. Now, what you have here in this one sheeter is on the left hand side, you have an illustration of what that is, what that looks like. And on the right hand side, you have a series of prompts to help you craft your own Epiphany Bridge story. And then down here, I've actually put the questions in sequential order. And the best thing for you guys to do is just go ahead, draft these answers out so you have a visualization. You have a draft, a rough draft of you sharing your story. Now, the cool thing about this Epiphany Bridge story, you can say this in 30-second version, a 3-minute version, a 30-minute version. There's different angles that you can approach this, and there's different frameworks and different roadmaps to sharing different types of stories. But this is the most, I don't want to say basic. This is the starting point, right? Once you're able to communicate your journey a little bit more in a framework, in a pattern, the more people can relate with you. And I'm just going to give myself an attempt here to share my Epiphany Bridge story, because the person that you see today is definitely not the person, the hey, charismatic and getting online and knowing all this stuff. That wasn't me, man. Before all this, I was just a regular guy. I was just a music school teacher, right? I always had the entrepreneurial bug. I always had my side hustles, right? But I was a musician. I played the saxophone. I taught. I was an educator for 15 plus years. And I'm a dad. I'm a dad of 10 kids. That's not an exaggeration. I have 3 sets of twins and I have 4 singles, right? So for me, it was just about what can I do to help my family get ahead? What is it? I'm a provider, guys, right? My family is really, really important to me. So I always was doing anything and everything to give them a good quality of life, that I really didn't have growing up, as a kid, but the problem was for me, I kept struggling with always keeping up with the Joneses, right? It was always like, they got a new car. So do I got to get a new car now? They got a big house. So do I got to get a bigger house now? They went on all these vacations. So let me try to take all my kids on vacations. Right? So it was always this, again, trying to keep up with the Joneses, but deep down inside, guys, I just really wanted a really good quality of life for my kids. Right. I wanted to, it's a true story, guys. It was to the point where, my kid was like, hey, Dad, can I have a box of Loopy Fruits? I'm like, what's Loopy Fruits? Can you pour me a bowl of cereal of Loopy Fruits? I'm like, what's that? You mean Fruity Loops? But here we had been buying the generic box of cereal for way too long. So for me, I just wanted to give my kids of what I thought was a normal life, right? And just being an educator, being a teacher, that really wasn't cutting the cheese. And I remember back in 2009, my position getting cut. I remember them saying to me, hey, Fabian, we love you dearly, but you're just the music teacher and we have some budget cuts and we have to cut your program. And that was a really scary thing to me. And what I realized then is putting all my eggs in that education basket can sometimes hinder. It can come out of nowhere. You can just lose it just like that. And having all this responsibility, right? So I really thought about, okay, what am I going to do for my hustle? What am I going to do for my hustle? And then I got introduced to this network marketing industry, and I knew nothing about it, right? Like zero. I knew about like, Mary Kay, like, and the guys going door to door selling vacuums, but I really had zero clue about the industry. And I went to a home meeting, and I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. And then I went to like a hotel event, saw all the nice luxury cars parked out front. And I drank the Kool-Aid, I drank the juice. I looked at my wife and I said, look, we spent $500 on dumber things. Let's just give this a go, right? And that's exactly what we did. We gave it a go because I thought that I knew business ownership was the way to go. Like, that was my epiphany. I always knew with all my little side hustles that business ownership was the way to go. It's just that the vehicle that I was in at the time really wasn't making the income and the impact that I really wanted. And I thought in this network marketing industry, like, man, I can help other people build a business. I can build my business. I can get compensated for it. So I was really, really excited, right? So I hit the roads, I hit the streets. I had this plan. I was going to go, to my friends. I was going to go to my families. And, some people said yes, and a lot of people said no. And I said, okay, no problem, no problem. Then I started, getting really good at, cold prospecting and talking to strangers. I always had this outgoing personality, right? I just used it in a different format. But that ran its course, because what I felt like, I was always in what we call phase one. Like, I would always recruit someone, they get like a couple of milestones in, and then they would just lose the spunk, right? And they would just end up quitting. And it was just so frustrating to know that I was trying to do something, but it wasn't working, right? And then that's when I jumped into this internet marketing thing. And the plan at first for this was like, okay, let me just help get some more leads, right? Let me just help myself get meet some new people. But really, what the achievement for me and the transformation for me, as I was going through the process of learning and as I was developing my chops, like, my vision and my idea of what I can do on this online space just grew. And I met guys like David, I met guys like Eric. And at the end, today we have almost 2,000 people in our Facebook group. We've helped just about 50 people come through or become the upline program, like top level mastermind people. We've elevated a couple of students to our top tier yearly program. And for me, the achievement is really transforming other people's lives, right? Instilling in them leadership practices, giving them the skills, giving them the accountability and guidance and mentorship for them to make better decisions and think better about how to approach business in general, business online, and how to look at their network marketing company as just a step on their value ladder, and really build a business and really build a brand that brands them as the authority and brands them as the expert, and not so much the product that they sell. So thank you, guys. That's an example of my Epiphany bridge story. All I was doing is just kind of looking at these bullet points as I was reading down the list and sharing my story, right? So what I want you guys to do is, again, take this information, fill out these details. Trust me, when you first do it, it's not going to sound good. But the more you do it, the more you communicate it, the more you practice it, the more you share your story with other people, the more it's going to resonate with you. And don't be shy, because sometimes people get stuck with, oh, people heard my story before. Guys, listen, this thing in social media, it goes a mile a minute. It goes a mile a minute. So the more you share your story, the more you communicate it, first of all, the better you're going to get at it. And second of all, the more people are going to resonate with you, that you're a real person, that you're trying to do real things here. So that's my time. Watch this, slow it down. Look at the bridge, Epiphany bridge questions. Fill out the answers right here, guys. You can do it. You can do it. I believe in you. If you have any questions, just reach out to us and let us know. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.